Every Tuesday and every Thursday. Y'all
Hey,
tap in.
is this thing on? Can you hear me?
Roy
Is anybody
Anthony
out
Show
there?
is the spot to be, baby.
Hey, tune in.
It's the hottest show, homie, on the West Coast. The Roy Anthony Show. It's the hottest show, homie, on the West Coast. The Roy Anthony Show. It's the hottest show, homie, on the West Coast. The Roy Anthony Show. And it's featuring the homie Big Hank and Christina Carter. It's the hottest show, homie, on the West Coast. The Roy Anthony Show. It's the hottest show, homie, on the West Coast. The Roy Anthony Show. It's the hottest show, homie, on the West Coast. The Roy Anthony Show. And it's featuring the co-host Big Hank and Christina Carter. It's the hottest show, homie, on the West Coast. Everybody tune in, you dig it? It's funny as hell, my dude. It's when we can kick every Tuesday. Everything is going down. Every Thursday. They about to do the most. It ain't a confrontation, it's a conversation, homie. Yo. On the weekends, Roy Anthony Show. It's during the week, homie. The Roy Anthony Show. What you listening to? The Roy Anthony Show. Come on and get a tap in before we gotta tap in. What you listening to? The Roy Anthony every Show. Tuesday. Come on and kick it with us. The Roy Anthony every Show. Thursday. It's going down, homeboy. The Roy Anthony Show. Co-host tap in. Big Hank. We getting it. What you think? Hey. It's the hottest show, homie, on the West Coast. The Roy Anthony Show. It's the hottest show, homie, on the West Coast. The Roy Anthony Show. It's the hottest show, homie, on the West Coast. The Roy Anthony Show. And it's featuring the homie Big Hank and Christina Carter. It's the hottest show, homie, on the West Coast. The Roy Anthony Show. It's the hottest show, homie, on the West Coast. The Roy Anthony Show. It's the hottest show, homie, on the West Coast. The Roy Anthony Show. And it's featuring the co-host Big Hank, Christina Carter.
What it do? What it do? What it do? Once again, this is comedian Roy Anthony. Welcome to the Roy Anthony Show, where we come live Tuesdays and Thursdays, 10 a.m. on the Pacific Standard Time, 12 p.m. Central Standard Time, 1 p.m. in the New York East Coast Standard Time. That's why I say it and stuff. And it is an honor to be back once again. I am comedian Roy Anthony. I come live from the Woe Entertainment, which is created by our man Redneck Pimp. His real name Richie King, aka Redneck Pimp. That's his stage name, along with our co-producer, co-creator Goose. These guys are military veterans, along with our social producer Blue Phoenix, and I be saying all the other brothers' names, and I be forgetting. I be having to why didn't I write it down? But all the hosts and producers for the Woe Entertainment, you can find the Woe Entertainment through Facebook, YouTube. Just put in WO space ENT Entertainment. CO, that's our producer, always comes with the native language of greetings by saying CO. And we are coming live now. If you don't catch us live, everybody should know you can go to the recordings, and Facebook and YouTube always shows the previous shows. And I want to say, Tuesday evening, I was a guest on our head producer, Richie King, aka Redneck Pimp. I was on the show with him and his co star on the show, which is, we called him the Commander. And man, I enjoyed myself. Oh man, it was entertaining. It was fun. It was exciteful. Sometimes you get a little dramatic because of the situations that the world goes through. And this platform, it was created, and I want to astound on this. Why I find it an honor to be on this platform is because a lot of our military, we have freedoms galore. A lot of people don't even know. We try to point at a race, I'm they privileged, but Americans, we are privileged for the freedom of freedom, the pursuit of happiness. Yes, no one says it's going to be easy, but you still got them freedoms. Now, your neighbors might make it hard, but we have military that goes and makes sure that we are protected from evils that we're not even aware of as a public. People say, "Well, Roy, have you been in the military?" I wanted to sign into the military. I was wanting to join the Air Force, and I was hell bent on being part of the Air Force. And the high school counselors and the recruiters, since I lived in the hoods, wanted me to go to Army and Navy, and I didn't want the Army and Navy. My family members who were Army and Navy told me, "No, you need to go to the Air Force," and I wanted to serve, land, air, sea, like that. So I signed on selective services, but instead, I ended up getting a scholarship to Wichita State. And then I got in a little trouble because of the political beliefs, and then I started working with the U.S. government on helping on situations being designed for our military. I can't discuss it because I was deeply involved with being in what they call intelligence. You got to be quiet about certain things. I don't even bring up the iotas of it, especially to the public. Now, certain people who knows me, I even got a friend. I got a childhood friend who is a actual special force instructor. He teaches certain ones how to dismantle a person within a couple of seconds. You don't see how he comes, man. But what's shocking, despite my babbling in there, what's shocking is when our veterans comes back and finds that they don't feel adequate to live out their lives. They commit suicide. And it's not saying it's just veterans that commit suicide. Suicide sometimes is an ignored news, which is I feel is newsworthy. We tend to we'd look at somebody killing someone or some crime or something, but we never seem to focus on those who actually takes their lives. And when you take in your life, sometimes if you see some of the letters that have been wrote, or some people have actually survived suicide. I have an associate that I know that actually survived a suicide by he shot himself in the head and lived. And some of the guys out there in the world calls his nickname is because of that scenario he put himself through when he thought that he couldn't live his life because his girlfriend of so many years broke up with him abruptly, and he couldn't fathom that. Sometimes some of us, in this world, we play a poker face, and other people think that everything's fine with you. But sometimes some people feel like they don't fit in, or they may not have a voice, or the thoughts that they're having may not conjure with other people's way of thinking. And this is where, like my show was created, that it's not a confrontation, it's a conversation. We try to speak upon things at all different parameters. Am I biased? I probably am on some things. I can only describe the things that I've seen. One time I was suspended from the firm that I worked for because it wasn't the subjects that I talked about, but it was it was my judgment on how I said certain things. And I started realizing that I don't mind approaching a subject and any type of subjects where even family members, like our co-stars, that they be coming in, Christina Carter and my man Big Hank. Sometimes in family members, they say, "Don't say nothing. Keep it quiet." Now, a person has put themselves in a situation that is a nagging part of your mind of, why can't I talk about it? Now it becomes a nagging nagging little situation back in your brain, and it hasn't had closure. So it just stays there, and this ugly head pops out because there's been no ramifications. There's been no, let's discuss this. There hasn't been no closure. So it's just floating there and nagging at some. And some people's nags can compound and become such a beat that the person don't know who to turn to. Sometimes it's hard to talk to a stranger, and let's say a psychologist or a psychiatrist, and that person ain't been through nothing. Sometimes it can make a person who's talking to them feel that that person, that psychiatrist or psychologist, is just pacifying. Or I like using the phrase, if somebody, I'm saying somebody, and I say, hey, you're what's the word I use? Say, it's at the tip of my tongue, right? It slipped by the beat. That's where I need Big Hank, because Big Hank knows them deep words. He's a USC alumnus and stuff. Even though I went to Wichita State, I quit after 2 years. Should stay more, learn more of my vocabulary in certain words. But I would tell somebody, oh, you patronizing. How can you talk with someone who doesn't understand where I'm coming from, and they got my notes, and I'm just another item? This is why I would tell veterans if you've been through anything, to get with the other ones, and especially the ones who's been making through, like Redneck Pimp, Commander, who's been through a lot, served his country, served the community. It was told to me, and when I heard this number, I said, wow, 22 vets a day and 12 teens a day. That's what commit suicide. The media constantly purport out all this negative. And then you got veterans who have went to other countries to fight the same tyranny that they're facing when they come back home. You ever remember the movie Rambo? That man's minding his own business. Got his clothes, his belongings in the duffel bag. And the police want to mess with him, recognizing he's a veteran. You want to use public authority and stuff. And the same cat who's doing this to the military, because it was recent. Rambo was made in the early 80s. Chuck Norris and them was making the POWs movies and coming back. But Rambo came back from the Vietnam War and minding his own business, walking in the police. Messed with him. It was just recent, I think it was about 6 months ago, when one of our military troops is coming back from the barracks. He's black, and some white officers stop him. And so with him, his training, he goes to where a lighted situation. He don't come to a complete stop on a dark road. He goes to a lighted situation, ask him what he did, and they mason him. He said, why are you doing this to me, my brother? I'm serving in the United States. You got freedom because what I'm doing. And dude tells him, this is the respect he gets. You want to ride the white lightning? Because he's tasing him. No respect. But then you want to pick out. No one said anything that he's got. This guy should have been approached by his own friends and stuff for his ideology on things about America. Then you going to say, this is how you do our American troops? Once a month, we should have a celebration for the vets. Right now, they've been talking about going to a war. I found out that the U.S., we supposed to basically run Ukraine, and and Russia has been putting up troops at the border to go to war with them. Now, it's stated that if they evade, then we got to evade because that's our sovereignty, you know. Now, even while these people talk, here's a police officer, not saying all, but you want to hurt our veterans? You worried about some punk ass stuff in the neighborhoods, but these people's actually going out there when war is called out. People lose lives. We were just having a war with this old disease that I swear, I don't know why we shut our country down. I don't care who was in leadership. That is bad leadership to take advice from some old goofy cat. You know, stand your ground and stuff. Because it seems like we're in a worse situation now, and we ain't shut the country down. If you feeling sick, take your tail at home. I blame it a lot on Dayquil. See, NyQuil used to, for sneezing, you know, fighting all them symptoms, you would lay in bed. But in the past 10 years, NyQuil switched to Dayquil, telling you you can fight this and everything and still go be productive and go to work. But what they don't cure is contagiousness. Now, they telling you, you don't see them Dayquil commercials. They telling you if you sick, stay at home. Give yourself 3 to 5 days. We got to remember that television is fake. It's fiction. You got somebody who's coming up with imagination. Sometimes they get some facts, like when they do these, you know, these army movies and stuff. They would get with someone who's been through the military. Wait a minute, here's one of our co-stars. She just came in. And what's up with you, Miss Uniqueness?
What's good? What's good?
How you doing? You still working
I'm
with that college,
blessed.
getting your baby together?
Mommy duties.
Oh,
Yep.
I see. You know what I'm saying? Eventually we'll be able, because I already knew that she, unique, it's Miss Uniqueness. I call her by her full legal name, Christina Carter. She's been getting her, she's a single mom, and she's been getting her teenage daughter in, you know, enrolled in college, and then she deals with the other babies and stuff. And man, that's just to and fro. So I respect that when they come in a little late and stuff. And you probably heard what I was saying. You just didn't come in, or do you? You know, I
I
was
didn't
giving.
hear it. I just jumped in the car. I said, "Let me log on the show. Let me
Oh,
get in."
well, somebody we've been. I was talking about the veterans, and the subject of today's show is that they continue to cause a division in the United States. And it's not just these politicians, and it's such, you know, our veterans. I found out I was on the show Tuesday evening with Redneck Pimp and his co-star Commander, and he broke out the statistics of suicides by the veterans, and that
Mm.
22 vets commit suicide a day. But look, teens. I was just about to speak up on teens. 12 teens a day commit suicide. Why? For one, what do a teen feel like their world is facing when you hear of all this chaos?
Mhm.
When I was a teenager, even though I lived in the hood, it was bleak. I still feel like there was a future out there. You know, I want to, you know what I'm saying? Our meeting now causes us so much of a division. I was reading about a lady, and the school board got mad. It was a white lady, and they got mad at her because the whole thing that the lady was trying to explain, which was that her son, who has gotten into with This was a white lady and her son who's white, but his auntie and their side is deep into knowing the hood. So he is riding with that side of the family while they bumping out lyrics from the 90s, 2000s, some type of group fad, right? They love the hip hop, Snoop, Dre, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Well, in the lyrics, most rappers express with using, we say nigga, the N, some people won't say N word, but they say the word nigga.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I'm bringing this up, Christina. First things first is that it's on how you're using the N word.
Right.
Then now the lady's son, I'm gonna get back to this. He left a text that I want to say something on it after I get to this point. But the lady's son, who is now it just comes free with him at home, and when he's busting his lyrics, he's quoting the
Mm-hmm.
lyrics. That so the lady is calling the school board. They're having a meeting. You with me, right?
Mm-hmm.
To discuss because okay, some family members, I mean some students, families want the school to not teach diversities.
Mm-hmm.
They don't want to teach about past race relations. That blacks were slaves at one time and
Mm-hmm.
this and that. And they want to be, then you got the Jim Crow laws that existed. You got the civil rights movement that existed. So
Mm-hmm.
people don't want their kids to even learn about this ugly past. This lady in particular thinks that they need to be some type of diversity to be taught or something because her son now is learning more about straight out of Compton than he is learning social economics and all that.
Mm-hmm.
So do the school need to start showing it? Because now this is where they got mad at her. They didn't listen to her story or where she was trying to get to. She started quoting her son of what she's hearing. She don't listen to the songs, but I listen. She quoted, and I was gonna bring it up, but I want to show something else. But she quoted some of the words that he was stating to the school board.
Mm-hmm.
You know what the school board got out of what she was trying to say and all that? You know what they got out of? They was just appalled that they had never heard the N word stated so many times.
Mm-hmm.
it, it's sometimes like how, this is the part that is tricky to me. That when you get white people that is pushing the agenda that to another white person, how dare you say that word? Don't you know what it is to this person and all that, right? For what cause? Why are they mad? Like
It shouldn't
January,
be a reason.
what you say?
They shouldn't have a reason to be mad. Like, this is a whole new generation of things, and they're so stuck. And then, what do they expect when it's mixed races? Like, mixed kids, they're gonna hang out with the both sides, they're gonna learn different things. So you can't blame them because you're stuck in your ways about how it used to be. Get out of what it used to be and adapt to what it is now.
But
You
see,
know.
in Go ahead. I'm listening to you. Go ahead,
It's
Brittany.
just it just bothers me because I clean houses and stuff to take care of my kids, right?
Yeah.
So it's the couple that I work for is white. They are white. They are a beautiful family, and they take learning. They go back to the day where the white people was never at home with their kids. The nannies took care of the kids, right? They're even using some of the nannies breast milk and all these things that came about. We sat there and we had a conversation about that. The way that I clean the house is different from how they clean the house. So they changed their whole way of cleaning the house. Like, I need a Christina cleaner, things like that. So you have to learn people where they come from. You can't, but then you have to adapt to what it is now. Because you're
And
going to mess up
yes,
these kids. You're going to mess up these kids because you stuck back there.
yeah. I see Brandon Peters is in the back. We're gonna bring him in a
Hey,
minute.
Brandon.
Yeah.
That's my
I
boy.
want to bring up. I want to show this what our head producer stated. He said, "What pisses vets off is when people tell vets you signed up for it. Stop crying. That's bullshit." See,
Hmm.
see, and then he says here, so maybe they need to listen to all types of music. See, what people don't understand, and I'm so glad you said that. People, I'll be letting people understand. Christina and I want to be where we're not biased. Christina is a younger woman. She's a sister down there in Mississippi. I never get into question people. You don't think we ever talked about people's sexuality, who she likes. She stated, but I ain't never brought up about that. Am I correct?
You're right. Let's talk about it.
You know,
I go through stuff to talk about it.
yeah, I love her though because she, I tease sometimes about a community or whatever, but it's never held me against her opinion. She has a voice.
Mhm.
Sometimes she's on something and talk to me or talking to the world because the World Wide Web, WWW is World Wide Web. We're talking to the world who links in. You in Mississippi. I'm in Long Beach, like now I'm in Kansas City. Big Hank's in Mississippi. We got Brendan Peters coming from San Diego. And and the thing is that when the veterans do come to serve a country, we're dealing with clowns. I'd rather celebrate the veterans should be celebrated once a month. I'm letting people know that I dealt with a lot of the black veterans in Los Angeles. I was even stayed down there on Skid Row to talk with them because a lot of people don't know is that the blacks wasn't even getting no GI Bill from World War One, Two, and the Vietnam War, and I think there was another war after Vietnam War. Somebody correct me. It was called the Korean War, and then other little things where we go to, I knew a black guy who didn't have, he had lost both his arms. And it was amazing how he'll work with his foot in his parts of his arm. And one night, me and him sat down, he talked to me about how he was in the Vietnam War and he used to have to go through this tunnels, underground tunnels to make sure that there was no the enemy or any bombs or whatever, and the bomb went off. Okay, Korea was before Vietnam. Thank you for correcting me. But the bombs went off and blew off both his arms. I had an uncle, two of my uncles who had caught cancer from something called Agent Orange, where they spray and they end up getting the effects of it. And they came here and can't get medical help, don't have a GI Bill. These were the black soldiers. And you would think like, wow, I did all this. I can see where someone feel like that their life don't mean nothing. You give your whole life and committed to something. Next thing you know, you feel like your life don't mean nothing. Or a teenager who is seeing this and they feeling like Their life ain't meaning nothing because of all the chaos that our media shows. We're constantly showing division. We never show no growth. I'm gonna bring Brendan Peters in. I know Big Hank will be coming in. Well, what's up, Brendan Peters? How you doing,
How you
bro?
doing? I'm doing
Hey,
great.
Brandon.
How you doing?
And
I'm doing
so Brendan,
fantastic.
we was all met. He went down there, Memphis, and we had a show down there. And Brendan came down there and did the filming. That's the album that we're about to be releasing soon. But how you doing, bro?
Man, I'm doing fantastic. How you doing?
All right, man. You down there in sunny San Diego?
Sunny San Diego. It's beautiful today.
Wait a minute, wait a minute. Guess who popped in too, man? Whoa Entertainment just told me to tell you welcome. Let me bring in our other co-star. It's man. What's up, Big Hank?
Man, Roy Anthony,
What's
man, what's
good?
going on,
What's
man?
good?
Damn,
Man, you got it,
you got
bro.
the whole crew. You got the whole crew on here.
I
We look,
know, man. That's
we
what I said.
nigga,
Brendan just
hey,
came in a
we on there,
second ago.
nigga. We on there looking like the Brady Bunch, nigga. We on this motherfucker looking like the Brady
All in
Bunch.
swag.
What's up, Miss Uniqueness?
I'm silly.
What's
What's
happening,
good?
Miss
What's
Uniqueness?
good?
You already know,
Not
man. That's
much.
everything good. You looking gorgeous. Brendan Peters, what's happening,
Thank
man?
you.
How you doing, Big Hank? Man, I'm fantastic, man.
All right, man. Good to see you, man. Good to see you,
You as
bro.
well.
Yes, sir. What we talking about, Roy?
Well,
I
you
know
know,
I'm
man.
late.
We was talking about the subject was they continue to still try to split the U.S. And
Oh, yeah.
one of the things I'm talking about right now is suicides. The 22 veterans commit suicide a day. 12 teens commit suicide a day. I
Mm,
bring it wasn't some of us who have ever been or involved with somebody close, whatever. Big Hank,
mm,
the whole Long Beach and Southern, anybody who knows Big Hank was shook up because he went through a
mm,
hard
mm,
situation of this.
Yeah.
And I,
I could
yes, go ahead.
I could speak on it a little bit, man. It still tear me up. My daughter, uh, geez, my daughter, man, she took her life, man. 2019, I think it was 2019, about 3 years ago. Matter of fact, it's almost that date, man. It was March 22nd. I think it was 2019. I can tell you this, man. It was some signs that you got to pay attention to if you're a parent or a father. I saw my daughter um, change a lot of things about herself. Um, she had a underbite like I got. I got a underbite. People got overbites. I got an underbite, and that means my bottom teeth when I smile, my bottom teeth stick out farther than my top teeth. And my daughter didn't like that, so she had got her back teeth cut out, and her jaw moved back. And then she would change the color of her hair, the greens and purples and yellows and things of that nature it where you trying to change yourself. You don't like what you look like, so you want to look like something else or try to be look like something else. So um those are things that I noticed, and it really took hold to me after she was gone, because those were the times when she was screaming out and we wasn't paying attention. So I just, it's hard for me to talk about, man, because I'm her daddy, you know what I mean? And I remember one time she told me that she didn't fit in. She said, I don't fit in nowhere with nobody. I'm like, you ain't supposed to fit in. You supposed to stand out, but that was her reaching out, and we wasn't catching it. And
And
so, man, that's what I wanted to say, man. Just
I didn't want to, and I
pay
did,
attention to the signs. Pay attention to the
yeah.
signs.
And Big Hank, I appreciate you, man, for saying that. I wasn't trying to cut you off or nothing. I
Yeah,
just wanted to let you know that when we
yeah.
came up with this, when I did the subject was about the division, but I was on the show with Whoa Entertainment with Richie King and
I saw
Commander.
some of it. I saw some
Yeah,
of it.
and it shocked me of actual knowing the numbers and how they pass, right? And then teens come in, but our news outlets and stuff is sinking the world. What they show makes people feel they are unadequate or they don't fit in, like you just stated. I was just saying that.
Hmm.
There's one of the brothers from Compton. I was brought up about when he tried to commit suicide. I didn't state his name, but his name reference to what he tried to do.
Hmm.
And over his girlfriend left. I seen people because of relationships.
Yeah.
Let me tell you something. It ain't that serious.
Yeah.
If it's a relationship, I'm sorry, fellas. First thing a breakup do is people start picturing that person how they having the intimate positionings and stuff with another person now.
You- yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the
Yeah.
key
That's
is
the
self
hardest
love.
thing that can. What'd you say,
Yeah.
Brennan?
I said that key is self love. They don't teach self love. They teach, who's wearing Abercrombie, who's wearing Adidas, what kind of slick 9,000s you got on compared to the Air Jordans. You know what I mean? And then that's where that feeling of doubt comes in with I don't fit in or this or that. It's a very sad story when you don't have self love.
Yeah. And I don't like to use the word socialism because socialism is used in so many different changes of interpretation. So I don't like that political look. But we don't know how to socialize. Few churches. Now, churches is one of the pillars in especially black neighborhoods, in the black families. We listen and feel like, okay, there's a common ground. Now, our pastor, when I go, but he's our pastor continuing when I'm there presently or not. He teaches how to socialize. It's not always about money.
Hmm.
It's not. I ain't never seen him preach about money. I can't even say it's always. I ain't never seen him preach. See, let me get you
He
an
don't.
example.
He
Let me
don't.
give you an example. Most divorces happen from the Christianity churches. 80% of divorces come from those who believe in God and Christ. Now, I always throw this at these so-called ministers, whatever, because I try by the Spirit of God. How I got to join going to St. Luke's Holy Baptist Church is because I went there as a visit. Once it's done, say, hey, I need to see what was this church about because we just shot a music video and Crips and Bloods came together, and I ain't seen no churches bringing that together. They ain't having this mayhem at our congregation.
Yeah.
This is holy land and
Yes, sir.
stuff, right? But this
Yeah.
better, and so then I said, I'm interested. I go and he sparked something in me and catches my ear and my heart and was in line. And not one
Hmm.
time did he let me down because I'm thinking, okay, when the okie doke gonna come, when he gonna
Yeah.
say I need
Yeah.
that extra funds.
Yeah.
We've been having this ceiling fan that's been up here for 15 years, and we done collected offering after offering after offering on the building fund. He never came with that.
No.
So I
No.
started looking at stuff. I started for real. First thing I ask somebody, a preacher, whatever, you can ask yourself, what do the book of Malachi mean to you? Oh, well, the man robbed God. I got you feeling guilty. I've seen people not pay their electricity bill saying they got to pay God. And just as dark in the mud up in the house.
Hmm.
God don't see now. God
See?
knows more. I'm not making a mockery, but I'm saying is when you ask someone the book of Malachi. So first, the second question I ask anybody is God a God of order? Oh, there goes the next high note. Like the dude that was preaching that one get run, he asked God a God of order. Run. Okay, I let them get all that steam out and everything. So when I brought up the book of Malachi,
It's
first
a
question
scheme.
say is, will a man rob God? Second thing I asked him is God a God of order? And, oh, this man woo woo. Now, here's the kicker. Will a man rob God? He ain't talking about you and I. He's talking about those who's over the offering and the tithe money. He's giving them instruction. store it up for the storefront so my people can have food and meat. He ain't telling you and I to do it. We ain't the leader of the flocks.
Mm.
Just because you buy some bread don't mean I'm supposed to get a sandwich. So
Right.
wait a minute. But when I hit him with this, that comes in the third chapter. Will a man rob God in the tithes? The first chapter, it states in big words, God hates divorce. Now, God, who is a God of order, put it in perspective. Your personal life, get that in order first.
Mhm.
How can you rob me? You ain't robbing them Big Hank. You ain't robbing them Brennan or Miss Uniqueness. How you robbing them? He's telling you first, get your house in order. You can't help nobody else if you don't have your house in order. But our churches teach such a mercurial of money situations. These are things that divide our country. We've been paying tithes for how many years since people was able to create churches without being bum rushed and getting killed. I would say since the 1890s. This is 2022. What we built, all this tithe money.
Are we built with the
I'm,
God money? The preachers, they look pretty good, huh?
they looking good, don't they? Got the gold toilets and all that.
My
Yeah.
granddaddy call it the holy casinos now.
Yeah,
They
oh,
have
there it is.
This it's a holy casino. Like they come in dressed to impress. They come in to say about everybody that hang with the preacher. They got new cars and houses, and all the people that's putting in and paying tithes ain't seeing nothing. They can't
It,
even
Nothing.
get
Nothing.
nothing when they get sick. They don't even get. They don't even come check on the sick and shut in. But they
look,
always taking up more offerings and stuff for preachers' days. What is it? The church anniversary, the preacher anniversary, the wife anniversary. Everybody
everybody.
buying household products for their house, getting them food stamps off their food stamp card. It's just so much stuff that they doing. It's just a joke to me
My
It
now.
tripped
uncle,
me
my
when the
uncle passed
ATM is
away.
in the lobby.
My uncle passed
That's
away
all
about
they
15
missing.
years ago, right? 15 years ago, he passed away. He didn't pay his tithes for 2 years. They say he can't get buried on their burial ground
Mm.
Mm.
over some tithes.
I
You know,
bet I wonder if that affected him getting into heaven. Look here. Let me explain something to you. You asked Big Hank. Now, see, I love Big Hank. If Big Hank was wrong about stuff, I'm not gonna walk with him. Big Hank is one of the ones who played low key, but he's righteous. Big Hank, let me ask you a question. Do you give clothes? Don't y'all give clothes volunteer for people in need?
Yeah.
I hear it, right? And he does. I got clothes. Guess what? This is truth. In Kansas City, I left 2 bags of clothes, modern new clothes and everything. A friend of mine's passed, and they gave so I had clothes, and I said my mother and them was gonna give it to the Goodwill Salvation Army. I said, no, no, we're gonna take them to give it to the black church here, so they can give them to the people in need in the hood. Why they end up at the Goodwill? The black churches said, oh no, we can't take that because of COVID concern.
and we're
What?
gonna write that off.
I said they couldn't wash it. Oh no, no, we what the you feel what I'm saying? To me, I felt that was an excuse. You're lying. You know good and well, but you won't help nobody else because all of a sudden clothes carry COVID.
I bet you they went through it and took out what they wanted
No, they
and
didn't.
gave
They
to.
didn't even take the bags. They said, "Oh no."
Oh wow.
My mother and them. I was out there in the LB with Big Hank, and my mother called me. She was upset. My uncle said, "We taking it to the black church, to the church." None of the black churches want to take the clothes. I mean, new clothes. They didn't even look in the bag. Oh no, no, we don't take no clothes because of COVID.
Mm-mm.
I said, not where Big Hank in them.
But you can go to Walmart and touch the same clothes everybody else touching, breathing the same
Oh,
air.
oh, go ahead, preach, girl.
That's crazy. What's the difference between the church house, the penthouse, the Walmart? You going to the restaurants, they gotta touch
It's
all the food there.
It's because of the work. They had to work. This is the division. See, division ain't just because of blacks and whites and
Lazy.
Latinos, blacks. Let me tell you something. The division is within our own. You know, you can't do nothing. I always said this. You got to make sure your household is right. Then you make sure your neighborhood is right. You know what? I'll have to use him again as the best example. One of my pet peeves is I can't stand seeing a church in the neighborhood, and the church is pretty and everything around the neighborhood looks deadbeat. Like what? You're telling me God comes here,
Like the
but
church in
everything else is
3D.
poison ivy and weeds and all that. Let me tell you something. Big Hank is probably in front of the church right now. His house is up the street. That's the most beautiful street in the. Let me tell you something. I'm not lying. It's like it should be one of them, the new Leave It to Beaver type community. Except now we have a different way of how we look at things. You know, you see them wearing a hood and hat. Ain't nobody down there drive-by shooting. Ain't no trash on the street.
No, no.
It looks like every time I put Brennan knows he left his car there for
Yes,
a
yes,
weekend.
so did.
Damn.
Ain't
Yes,
gonna do
so
nothing but
did.
bricks, is it?
While we was in Memphis, he didn't say one time, Big Hank, I wonder if my car gonna be all right. His street is like that, Miss Shanika. The
Hell, he
church,
couldn't do that here. You better take your car with you, cause I promise you, they
but that's what I'm
gonna
saying.
drive you over here if you can.
The light of God is real. All the neighbors, the Latinos even have a church on. They have church in the other part of their church building.
Yeah, yes,
I've
sir.
been in there, and the dude said, "Oh, let it, but let it." I said, "What?" He said, "Praise the Lord." He said it
Are
in
you?
Spanish. I didn't know. I was like, right on.
Are you saying no? They over there on the other side, man. They over
Yeah,
there on the other
they was
side.
coming in, and I was walking past them on the sidewalk. He said,
Praise
"Pathetic,
the Lord.
that." I'm like,
It's a
right
gracias
on.
Dios.
Like, he's in front of the church. He was happy about it. Had his word. I'm like, they about to see, the community. It's not just
Community, yes,
blacks,
sir.
it's Latinos and everything. Every time I come over his neighborhood, I feel safe.
Yes, sir.
Now, when I leave from a month that way and get over there on Wardlow, now I'm kind of. Let me get
Yeah,
back
Because
over
you
here by
see
Hank.
it, you see their season, and you could tell. You could if you can walk into a neighborhood and you feel that, then it's a difference because they doing more than talking about it. They living in
Yeah.
what they're talking about.
Wait a minute.
So
Look at
if
that.
you get that, you're
Yeah.
blessed.
You right, Miss. I'm sorry, Miss Christina. Somebody
You
sent
fine.
something in. It's such a what you call it, Big Hank, oxymoron. So the
yeah.
name of the person is named Pokemon Masturbate, but he said, "Amen." So many churches these days have no outreach in the local community, and I'm just
thank,
teasing with you, Pokemon Masturbate.
thank Master Bait. Thanks a
Yeah,
lot, man. Appreciate you.
we laughing with you, but let me tell you
Yeah.
something. They question sometimes how me and Big Hank talks about God, what He's done for us, and we may say a cuss word, and he's sitting there at the church step and stuff. And guess what? We never ever disrespect the church. We have never disrespected.
No, no,
God,
not going to. And
yeah,
and I'm gonna
God
say this.
loves it.
I'm
Yeah,
gonna say this, man. I'm gonna say this. If God only blessed the sinless, he wouldn't have nobody to bless. It wouldn't be nobody in
right.
that line. It wouldn't be no. If he said I got a line over here for the sinless and then a line over here for the rest of y'all, the sinless line would be zero people in that line,
Hey,
man.
look, I don't want. He said he just said you're right. I should probably change my name, man. Don't. It's
That's
not
Don't
right.
about.
change your name.
I would
Don't
change
Yeah,
your
change your
don't
name.
name.
change your
Be the
name.
You
best man you
cool?
can be, Pokemon.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. You
Because a
good?
person, look, see, this is the thing I say. You remember Big Hank? We had Big Brendan. We had somebody in here. Oh, wait a minute. I don't know if I should say anything, but Brendan has been doing a lot of work. I'm glad that he's on. The three of us have started a production studio, y'all, and I don't like to talk about or whatever, but if I don't say nothing else again, you'll see these three right here. Me, Big Hank, and Brennan have working. You'll see a lot of the work coming on. But
Yes,
I want
sir.
to
Yes,
say
sir.
this. All three of us believe in God.
Mm-hmm.
We have our different ways. I just mentioned Brennan Tuesday. Brennan is a Trump supporter.
Oh yeah.
But he didn't agree with trying to cheat. He didn't agree with the January 6th situation
Yeah.
and stuff. And never once have either of us had political arguments.
No.
You know, that's crazy because I've been in so many conversations where people I'd be having a great conversation and then they say, "Oh, who'd did you have a political? Oh yeah, you know, Trump. Boom! Don't you talk to me? Hey, stop! Didn't know my opinion could hurt so much."
Yeah. And so, you know what I'm bringing out? Why I'm bringing up? People say he's all everywhere. I look at things that causes us a division. So many times you got to understand what God is by your for yourself. Now, am I perfect? No.
No, it's not one. Nobody did the perfect one yet. It's only one person that did that. Only one person that did the perfect shot, man. One.
Yes.
That was it.
Look here. If it wasn't for the Spirit of God being real, I couldn't tell you what type of person that I would be.
Right.
Now, I know what that means, Miss Uniqueness and stuff. I see shit. Yo, you can't. Can you hear us, Miss Uniqueness? Miss Uniqueness is having some
You
problems.
got
Oh, wait
stuff.
there.
You got.
Get your stuff together, Miss Uniqueness. We have one of our constituents who's running for mayor of Los Angeles, the city of Los Angeles, Mr. William Rodriguez Morrison. He's in the background. I want to bring him up for a few, y'all mind? And so,
Do your thing.
how you doing there, Mr. Morrison?
I am
Can you hear
doing
me?
fine. It's just been a
Yeah,
long, long morning. Let me try to. I'm out here outside in the sun right now, so desperately finishing up some paperwork. But
yeah.
everything's going pretty good with the campaign, getting more support, more volunteers. So just looking forward to giving the city back the way it should be for the people.
That's what's up. That's
Yes.
what's up.
Hey, man.
Exactly, because we have been neglected for way too long.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Hey, why don't you tell me? Do you have a special primary election coming up March 8th?
March 8th? No, my election is actually going to be on June 7th. It's with the
Oh,
state election. What happened, it was supposed to be March 8th, but the city attorney, Mike Buer, decided to change it with the state election because it's a bigger turnout. A city election only gets a 6% turnout. A state election gets a 26% turnout.
Okay, so
Now,
what
you can
day
ask
was
that
that again? What day was that again?
June 7th.
June 7th. Now, some people, I don't mind saying, Mr. Morrison is a Republican. I'm not a Republican or a Democrat. I can be swayed. I know Brennan is a devout Republican. So if he lived in the city, you
I
definitely
ain't
know.
devout. I
But
just like good
one,
ideas. You know what
but
I mean? I
one of
like
the
to see
things is, I
progress.
want to bring this up, it's not even about the political views. We have to look at stuff that's been working for us. Now, just because you hear Republican doesn't mean that it's all Donald Trump. That's not what it is. It's a belief system in the way politics should run. We have been running in Los Angeles, as far as in the city of Los Angeles, democratically, and it don't seem like nothing getting done. This man knows how to deal with an infrastructure. I know him personally. He has kept me safe, and he has kept numerous of celebrities safe. He is a responsible pillar of his community. He owns property that he got other families that's living there, and they are content. He's not a slumlord. The only time he gets mad about the public is when he's trying to get rid of pigeons at his house, and they keep feeding him at his front door. You stop me,
Right.
man. You go ahead, man. I'm up here campaigning for you. Tell them some stuff.
Okay. Alrighty. Well, one thing I did want to mention too as well. every individual like Karen Bass and all these individuals have been in office. All they're doing is playing musical chairs. It's time to break that pattern, and I'm going to break that
Amen.
chain because they always promise us something, but it never happens. I live here in Boyle Heights, and my streets need desperate repairs. The same thing like South Central and other areas. Our sidewalks are uplifted, and my mom's fallen several times walking just down the block because like the sidewalk. And it's a shame that ADA, my neighbor, has instead of going on the sidewalk, has to go out in the street with their wheelchair, their electric wheelchair. This does not make any sense. But if we were in Porter Ranch or in a wealthy community, we would be taken care of. But we're always only looked at only during the election time just to for them to get the votes. That's the only
Right.
time they come to our community. Other than that, they never show up.
What is our city commissioners doing there? Why is there buckle sidewalks? What the city commissioners, are they doing their work? I thought that was
No, they're not doing their work. It's actually controlled by the City of LA Public Works. And these guys will come out and only work about 1 hour instead of doing their 8 hour shift. My plan is giving it to the Army Corps of Engineers, the contract. This way we can get the work done and efficient.
okay. Okay.
And
Now let me ask you a question, man. On the vision, our we I've been trying to let before we can heal the world, we got to be able to heal the small sections of our community, our city. Like you're running for the city of Los Angeles, mayor of city of Los Angeles.
hmm
Now, you got to be able to take. Somebody said it sounds like every city worker laugh out loud of what you just stated. Now, who is the city workers' bosses? What is it? Why is this getting away? What is it that you can do that can unify? Is there need more job openings, or do you do some type of survey and find out who you need to let go and who you need to hire on?
Actually, it's about meeting the quota. You see, it's just like when you play sports, we have to meet that quota. My thing is, I want them to do 5 city blocks in one day. That is their quota. If they can't get 5 city blocks done, that means they're inefficient. That means they are not working as hard. They're just sitting around, which I have videos of them sitting around and never doing anything.
That's taxpayer monies that pays their salaries up,
Exactly,
right?
Exactly.
exactly. And it's our taxpayer money.
Hmm.
It comes from also the gas taxes. So the thing is, why are we neglecting our streets? The only streets they want you to see that are nice and taken care of is around SoFi and other areas because because they have an event coming up. Just recently, 2 days ago, they cleared out all the homeless right there on Century Boulevard because since we're going to be hosting the Super Bowl,
Mhm.
they got rid
Yes.
of everybody. And the city of LA doesn't have a problem for the a solution for the homeless. $2.9 billion has been allocated, and they gave the contract to the county. So that does not make any sense at all. They are just been laundering money, shuffling money all over the place, so it can go back into their campaigns through these nonprofits. So that needs to stop and break that chain.
See, and that's the thing that gets me. And I hope everybody, usually we're off at 11. I was going to go at 11:15 because of our special guest, William Rodriguez Morrison, is in. Um, some of these people that's hearing you are not even in the city of Los Angeles, but seem to be a common problem around the U.S. When we trying to figure out what's keeping us to be, let's say in um, right, like why we're making successfulness in the money or what's going on. Now, you just said that gas prices. I heard you say gas prices. Are you saying that's why our gas
Right
out
now
here in
here in
Baltimore is
LA,
$5 and it's high like that
it's about
because
575. 575 where I live.
good, y'all hearing
In
that
Boyle
in
Heights.
Mississippi? I ain't
575.
paying no
Democrats.
We paying 380. No, we paying 289.
Those are
Yep.
They
Democrats.
289. If 289 was in Los Angeles, that gas station is run out of gas that day.
it's like
Yep.
289.
Mhm. Yeah,
We're,
and can you imagine if you're on a fixed income and you got to pay 575 for gasoline? Not
Hmm.
right now.
and
I'm
then
taking
drive
out my
down,
bike.
a raggedy street that they haven't fixed on, tearing your car up more and
All
stuff.
more.
And
Exactly. Hmm. And that, I was thinking about that. I was over by Imperial Highway, and I'm trying to think. But I know I was down there. It was off of Imperial Highway and right off the freeway. That 10, what is it? The 105 freeway.
yes,
And I ran into a pothole. And you know what? I have a Chevy. Remember my white Chevy?
yes.
And those are metal rims. I hit a pothole, and it actually bent the rim.
Amen. Happened to me the other day. Cost me
And
500
it's,
bucks to get new tires. I was like, can I
yep,
sue the city? Because these are holes.
right,
But how
exactly.
in
And
the
you
world does
gotta
this
put in a
situation
claim. Put in a claim, and they never pay us. But if we were in Beverly Hills, hey, we get paid right away.
see? That's why I love my Long Beach. I'm gonna tell you. It used to be a time you ride on the 710 and you coming like from the Compton area, Los Angeles area to Compton, you be on that 710. The potholes used to be so bad. I used to tease that once you get to Long Beach, you stuck there because your transmission got knocked out. But Long Beach said we want to fix up the highway to a certain point and told LA County to move the other parts and they didn't do it.
Hmm.
Why? Where is all the funds going to? Where is all our money's going to for fixtures? And because if you hit a pothole and you mess up your rim or your tire and you on a fixed income, now you got more trouble.
Right. And you forgot about the tire alignment too, as well.
Mhm.
Imagine that. You still got to align the
Yep.
car afterwards.
Hey, I know how to drive. I had that though before. My steering wheel was turned up like this. You just got to know how to turn that joke. I had to
I
fight
know
to
that
keep it
feeling.
straight, but but let me ask you a question.
Hmm.
You have a very good chance of becoming and winning.
A
How do
very
you
good chance.
feel? What's the first thing you'll do in the office if you become the mayor of Los Angeles?
The first thing that I will do is I will thank God for allowing
Man,
me to become mayor and start fixing these communities and create more jobs because we need to really get our rail systems done. And if they have, if they can't do it, I want to bring back gang intervention with apprenticeship programs so our youth can have a job that are not going to go to college. Got rid of all those programs. When I used to go to school, there was wood shop, auto shop, electric shop, and now you got to go to college and pay money when it was supposed to be free for us to go to a junior college. What happened in those years? Or a university, they would help us with the Cal Grant. They got rid of all that stuff and sticking the money in their pockets. So
Well, they
now
don't teach you
I
in the
want to
school
bring
either.
back some vocational training. Go ahead. What was that?
They don't teach you in the school. Like I remember I graduated from school and I walked out and I was like, what's next? Because I was African American and a predominantly white school, they no guidance
Right.
counselors teaching me how to apply for college or what I need to do. You go out, you're like, man, I graduated early, top of my class,
Right.
but it's like I gotta go to work. That's the only thing
Right.
that
I
you
know
can
that
think of
feeling.
at that point in time.
Hmm.
I used to
Right.
blame
But
I,
that's what
And
I
I
figure. If we do a program like that and bring back that vocational training, like how they had the apprenticeship programs before with Department of Water and Power. I got one of my friends into it because he was a gang member here. He was with Flats here in Boyle Heights, and I got him into that apprenticeship program, and he's ready to retire from Department of Water and Power.
Yep.
So
see,
he's got a great job. He thanked me for everything. Because man, it kept me off of the streets, because he would be out there, ganging, banging, and stuff like that.
That's one of the things that I preach about is like is if we gave more people the opportunity to work at things that they like to do, that they would like to work at, and instead of having that big, people with felonies, that big apps to say no, you can't work here, you can't work here. We're just telling them to go back in the streets, to go back and doing, making money the easy way. Without, no one wants to go work a dead end job. You know what I mean? You're going to be going over and
Right.
over and want to be done year or whatever, because
Hmm.
you're sick of making that money. But if you was actually able to work a job that you loved and cared about, and you were accepted into that community, think about how much less gang intervention would be. It's amazing.
Hmm. And I'm fourth generation here in the city of Los Angeles. My great great grandfather was born in 1894. So, like, Roy knows this. Like, the one thing is, like they say, the ultimate sacrifice for a soldier is giving his life for what he loves. And I love this city. All my family, my adopted family, and I will give my life like Martin Luther King and all the rest. See, that's going to upset them the most because my name will never die.
Amen.
So,
yeah, and,
that's
and
one.
and he's true like that. I like being around true people, and he has my back. If I have a scenario and he's around, all I gotta do is introduce you to Bill and stuff. And he's a stickler like that. A lot of people don't know, man. This people like Britney Spears and stuff needed him to keep him protected. That's just he ain't no joke about how to keep people protected, how to come up with an infrastructure, how to organize and everything. And the thing is that when you believe in something, and it's somewhat of his campaign, I think the other guy is some rich guy who's never seen a poor day, and that amazes me when we always want to have someone who ain't ain't familiar with our struggle to lead us.
Right.
You got to pull somebody within the ranks, don't you think?
Most definitely.
Hmm.
It's
And
how they're gonna know how we
one
feel.
thing is, just think of the vaccine. You know, what's that guy's name? Man, it's Bill.
Fauci.
No, Bill something or rather that's making a lot of money off of this. Off of these vaccines, they're making a lot of money off of it because they got the patent. Uh, Bill Gates. Bill Gates
Oh, Bill
has a
Gates.
patent.
He patented the coronavirus. That
Yeah, he
guy.
patented it in 2013.
Uh-huh.
Okay,
And they were
so
running
he's the
tests
only
on
one that has the
it.
patent. That guy's making a lot of money. And everybody that's around him, his circle, like I don't like to call them out, but like the Clintons and some of these other ones are making money too
Mm-hmm.
because they're part of that patent. Fauci's making a lot of money.
Oh yeah.
Thing is, it should be our choice if we want to get the
Freedom.
vaccine or not. It's like a
Freedom.
common cold. You get sick, you stay home, you get well. So why are you forcing us to take this vaccine
Mhm.
that we don't even know what's in it that's going to kill us?
No choice. It's terrible. You can't even go
And
sit
you
out
know
in the
what? But it's always been like
weather.
that, though. It's always been where you need to take this and it's good for you, but you got to pay for it.
Right?
Every time they've gave a what they call cost of living raises, the people's been finding out where I thought that I've been saying this that it was a shame to shut America down for this virus flu. You
Mm.
don't shut down the whole country because now it's worse than it is. Back when it was first announced, we ain't shutting nothing down. And I always compare it to when HIV first came out. Remember, there was a panic that mosquitoes could give you HIV, and people were still going to
Right.
barbecues and stuff. But we was making sure a
Mhm.
lot of off was sprayed because you didn't want no mosquitoes trying to give you AIDS.
Right. Exactly. I remember that.
But we didn't shut our country down.
Hmm.
I tell people, I was saying it earlier, I blame companies like Dayquil. It was NyQuil, then they started giving you Dayquil. You can still produce, go to work and everything, but no, they fight all those symptoms except one symptoms, and that's contagiousness.
Hmm.
Now, if
Right.
you sick, people, that's why they checking people if you have a fever. If I feel like I got a fever, I ain't going nowhere.
Right. That
Some
is
people
true.
are used to that feeling being normal, and they say, "Hey, I'm gonna go out anyway."
Hmm.
I
And
feel
I
just
was
like,
sick like about 2 weeks ago. I was sick, but I did the natural stuff. Oh man, I boiled some ginger root
see,
and drank that. I
you
drank
went
a
old
gallon of
school on
ginger
me.
root.
Yeah, I went back to ways where my grandparents and them would show us, like when we have science fiction when I was a kid, they would have all these onions and peppers and stuff in the water, and you take a towel and you do like this over and breathe in about 10 minutes, every germ and everything it burn through you. It ain't
Leaked
used to
out.
having all that stuff going through your system. And so for real, I mean, she was like, I did it. No, I didn't have no COVID. I said, I'm gonna do it anyway. I in my right nostril somewhere. Bang! I thought, oh my God, that could have been something trying to creep up into my that's
Yeah.
them herbs
Hey
and
Roy,
medication.
I got a little guy right here. He wants to say hello. Look.
Oh, you're a cat enthusiast. And what's his
No,
name?
I really don't like cats. I like dogs more, but he's more like a dog. He's a cat, but he's more like a dog. He follows me around.
Oh, hey. Hey, you'll know if he's really like a dog if somebody start coming at you and stuff. And he like, you gotta tell him, heal, heal. But man, look
Yep.
here, man. It's been an honor. I want you to come. I told Mr. Morrison that he can come on our show every time we are on because I want you to keep pushing this.
Yeah.
Sometimes we got to step up out of what our comfort zone and actually listen to something. Let's try something different. You know what lunatics and lunacy and craziness is when we keep doing the same things over and over and over and expecting different results. That's lunacy, man. Am I correct?
Insanity.
That is
Insanity. There it is. I'm saying
insanity.
I'm
There
trying to
you
be
go.
all like, yeah, insanity. I'm trying to be like the European people. That's lunacy.
He said the lunacy.
But
But
you know
it's
what? I'm gonna
all
share
really.
this with you guys, Roy. And sir, I'm gonna share this with you. You know, I worked in
Yeah.
the 20. It was a 2005 election.
Yes.
Okay. And that candidate was John McCain, and he asked me, he goes, "Can you get an office downtown so this way, so people can come do the phone banking?" That's what's my budget. He goes, "Oh man, you're gonna get like $5,000 a month to find an office space." So I said, "Okay, all right." So I went to the Visconti Hotel, got the penthouse. I figured, okay, they got security there. It's gated, and nobody's
Mhm.
gonna mess with it, right? But if I go down on North Broadway, man, you know, break up the windows and stuff.
Yeah.
So that's where I stood at over there. But John McCain told me, he goes, "William, if you ever become mayor, the mayor of Los Angeles is in charge of the city council, in charge of the whole city. All you have to do is just change the city charter, get a grant writer and an attorney, and you can implement everything for the people." And that's what
Yeah.
my plan is.
Hey man, I applaud you, man. Please, everybody, if you're living in Los Angeles, especially Los Angeles City, if you're in the Los Angeles County area and you got people who's living in Los Angeles City, please take William Rodriguez Morrison seriously. He is a deep candidate for mayor of Los Angeles. He knows Los Angeles like the back of his hand. Some people don't understand that humbleness. See, he don't have on no tie. I'm glad you felt comfortable. You came in with your
My
t-shirt on.
T-shirt.
And look, that's not one of his newest t-shirts. I can tell by the crooked part of the neck. It's been like he's been out there. What to say? Oh,
It's for
and
the
look here,
Dodgers,
man.
you know?
You see the Rams is playing. Who
Yep.
has saw
That
that
was from the
coming?
2018.
Who?
Man.
Wait a minute, let me ask you something. Did you see that the NFC Championship was going to be playing in Los Angeles? We knew
Los
the Super
Angeles.
Bowl, but we
Hmm.
didn't see the NFC Championship coming.
Right. So we
Oh,
got
see the
San
Rams.
Francisco and we got the Rams. And now they're encouraging the Rams fans that have tickets not to sell their tickets because they're selling them to the Giants fans. And, I guess San Francisco's going to have like a bigger, more, it's going to be like a home game for them if you got a lot of San Francisco fans
Well,
there.
we've been through this. We call these the highway series, especially when it plays in baseball. You remember when
Right.
the Angels had
Exactly.
to play against the San Francisco Giants?
Mhm.
You meant to say 49ers. You was thinking Giants when you said the Giants.
Yeah.
That's the
49ers.
baseball. Yeah, the
49ers.
49ers. But let me tell you, are you going to have a special, like to be able to go to the stadium and and be able to say something? We need to get you on stuff like that.
They're not going
If
to
they
let me
can have
speak.
Dr. Dre and them on the Super Bowl halftime show, we at least need to get you to say just a word or two at the NFC Championship.
I hope they will, but they got me working the game. So I said, look, the only way I'm going to work the game, I said, I'll do the halftime, but I am going to be doing the escorting. I said, because I am not going to be running up and down like usual, having
Yeah.
to de escalate like over beverage guests or fights. And I know there's going to be a lot of fights. So I'd rather be on the field where I can see everything and let my
Yeah.
guards know where they
I
have to
said,
go.
I said, I was going. I'm a, like, are you working the Super Bowl as well?
I want to work the Super Bowl as well.
Hey, I'm going to come in as an assistant for you by just carrying your nightstick case.
Hey, me too.
I'm
Yeah, I
That's
got
serious.
the
that's what my
suitcase.
Hey
friends
man,
told
don't
me
try
too.
to
I
trip
go,
on my parade, Brennan. This is family. This is family. I'm letting me carry your case that
I
holds
you know
your.
what? Even if God came there and told me to open the gates and let him in, I can't let him in because I can't lose my credentials. Who knows if he has a weapon on him?
Exactly.
I can
I'm
make
just coming with you. I'm like, hey, I'm not with. When I hear you, when somebody say, Bill, I'm gonna just do like this. I'm gonna hand you the case. Here you go, sir. That's my only way to ever being in the Super Bowl is through our mayor. But no, I just want for real. I'm so proud of you. I need you to keep up what you're doing. We went over a little bit. I was going to, since you came in late, I take up with my producer. They know that usually it's an hour show, but we had a special guest in, and you'd be a special guest every time we open up the show. Okay, Mr. Morrison.
Sounds good,
And
Roy.
so, Brennan, Miss Pleasure, you want to say anything before I take you out the back room?
I'm good, brother.
No, no, William, Mr. Morrison, you want to say something before I take you to the
Hey,
back?
Brandon, I want to thank you so much. You know, the one thing is, remember, our heritage built this city of LA. It was our great grandparents and everybody. We're the ones that built this city. Doesn't belong to them. It's time for us to take our city back.
Amen.
Yeah, yeah, man. Even though Brennan's from Chicago, but he said amen anyway. He understand the fight.
I get it.
No,
I work
he
in
a
LA.
California resident.
I like to see the
Yeah.
progression everywhere.
Hey man,
I
yeah, I'm
like to
just
see
teasing with him. He shooting up
getting our
family
youth
cold.
off them streets and in the works.
Yes, that's right.
That's our future. Yeah.
All right, Mr. Morrison, I'm gonna take you to the back, man. God bless you, and
All righty.
yeah,
You
keep
take
pushing
care
about
and
your
God bless
campaign.
everyone.
God
God
bless.
bless you guys.
All
All
right,
righty. You
thank you.
take care. Have a wonderful day.
You
As
had the
well.
same,
All right.
sir. And Brendan, I want to say to you, thank you, man, for once again. I know you heard the new opening, right? Big Ski worked on the opening, and I had to add in our sister, um,
Miss
Miss
Unique.
Uniqueness, and so I'm bringing that in. But man, I just want to tell you, thank you. I didn't speak up on the thing that we know that you got because you haven't got the exact part, but we know that, hey, Brennan is a true actor and he be auditioning and he be doing it. Guys all over you. You look like you look like you could be preaching back there in the Israelite times and
Hey,
stuff.
I'm telling you, man. You know, to take this back a little bit. You know,
Yeah,
I've been
that's
doing
right.
research all day. I've been watching Dr. MLK, been watching Obama. I'm gonna learn my dialects perfect. You know what I mean?
Hey man, well, you know what? You just be you because God shines on you, man.
Definitely.
So I want to tell everybody this is Roy Anthony. Thank you for tuning in to Roy Anthony Show. Our next show will be on Tuesday, whatever date that is. I think that's the last day of the month, January 31st, if I'm not mistaken, or something like that. But anyway, God bless y'all. We're gonna bring in intro. Man, Big Ski did a good job on this. Brennan, we're gonna be leaving out.
Is this thing on? Can you hear me? Roy, is anybody out there? It's the spot to be, baby. Hey, tune in. It's the hottest show, homie, on the West Coast. Roy Anthony Show. It's the hottest show, homie, on the West Coast. The Roy Anthony Show. It's the hottest show, homie, on the West Coast. The Roy Anthony Show. And it's featuring the homie Big Hank and Christina Carter. It's the hottest show, homie, on the West Coast. The Roy Anthony Show. It's the hottest show, homie.